All right, man, peace. As you brothers know, if you've been on my channel for long enough, I like to intimately touch on the topic of relationships, particularly intergender relationships, meaning the romantic relationships between men and women. Why is that? Because for the so-called black man, oftentimes relationships are his downfall if he's not careful, if cats don't pay attention. It's very, very, very important. There's a reason why even when you read the scriptures, the vast majority of great men fell because of their very unhealthy idolization of the feminine principle. Whether it was Adam, David, Solomon, Samson, it's very consistent. And I touched on this in a previous video that an added dynamic in modern day relationships is the smartphone. Why is that? Because it provides accessibility to a lot of various outlets that can bring much more confusion into a relationship than you had in the past. Back 30 years ago, 35 years ago, if somebody was trying to so-called cheat, they'd be like, hey, I got to run to the store. Then get banged out real quick and then come back with a loaf of bread. Now people can they can access other people via Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, text message, email, all type of confusion that is added into many of these so-called relationships. Well, now the psychology / psychiatry field has put a name to the added dynamic that has been brought into relationships by the smartphone. They're calling it micro cheating. Of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Tonight, a whole new way of cheating on spouses.
This time, it's a form of betrayal called micro cheating.
Now, notice this female here stated that it's a form of betrayal. Why is she saying that? This is an admission. Brothers, keep in mind that when these anchors, when they read from their script, oftentimes they write their own script. So this is from a woman's own mouth that excessive texting and emailing of random or so-called platonic friends or colleagues or cohorts, that's betrayal. That's what she said. Why is that? Because she understands that for the most part, there's always an end game to text messaging people of the opposite sex. Let's be for real, brothers. Even those of you who claim to have female friends, how many of you have female friends that look like water buffaloes, unless you're attracted to water buffaloes? 9 times out of 10, a so-called platonic person that someone is texting of the opposite sex, if they're not a family member, is either someone that they used to fuck, are fucking, or gonna be fucking in the future. That's one of the prime movers of the sexes, is to pursue intercourse. Just being real, okay? This is a pro-truth channel, so I keep it real with brothers. The reason why she used the term betrayal is because she understands as a female that for the most part, when a female is texting someone, she's in the early stages of considering that person as a possible replacement for the man that she already has, or as a quote unquote slide off or side dude or whatever terminology you want to use. So always be cognizant and aware of any type of mischievous or strange side texting that the woman is doing. She's hiding the phone, all this other silly shit. Not to be a detective or to become paranoid, but just as a sign to let the woman know, look, if you feel like you're motivated or moved to be interested in somebody else, you don't got to do all that. Just let me know so I can go about my business and you go about yours. Brothers, at the end of the day, your main prerogative and priority is supposed to be the Most High and making sure that you're the best person that you can be. Not playing games with some silly broad, chasing her around. Monotony is an issue for many people in this society because most people in this society suffer from ADD. All right, they have attention deficit disorder. So they have a hard time with monotony. That's the reason why they're unable to maintain. And that manifests itself in relationship struggles that many of these people have, particularly many females. Okay, so now let's see what they have to say.
It's a subtle deception that may be just as harmful as a full-fledged affair.
Hey, you heard what she said? She said it's a subtle deception that may be just as harmful as a full-fledged affair. Sometimes with people, when they become too accustomed to a so-called significant other in a quote unquote serious relationship, they look for little alternative forms of entertainment. So this is why she's calling it a subtle deception, right? This is basically a form of whistleblowing. You're going to see that even the psychiatrist that they speak to address this topic is a female. And she's going to give a female's perspective. And you can tell that for the most part, she's addressing men in regards to things that the female does in so-called relationships. So let's see what she has to say.
Are you micro cheating on me?
Do I get advice from girls?
Do you? Question mark?
It's the hot topic on the internet right now. Micro cheating.
33 ways your boyfriend is micro-cheating and totally getting away with it. Micro-cheating is like the little white lie of cheating.
Micro-cheating refers to a small series of actions that don't quite meet the definition for cheating.
So, for example,
Frequent confiding with somebody outside of the marriage.
the micro
She said frequent confiding with someone outside of the marriage. What does that mean? Oftentimes, there may be a person who decides that they want to act as an amateur psychiatrist for someone who is having relationship issues. Why is that? Because they have eyes on that person. An amateur psychiatrist is really just trying to find a way into the inner workings of the person who they claim they're trying to assist mind, so that they can be looked at as a viable alternative if said person, whether it be male or female, but it's usually females who try to confide in someone of the opposite sex about their quote unquote relationship problems. That person, that amateur psychiatrist, is basically trying to let her know, look, I'm a shoulder you can cry on. I'm a cock you can ride on. All right. That's basically all it is. Brothers, you know, man, life is really not that complex. It's pretty simple. And you'll find that people get frustrated with you when you accept the simplicity of life, because now you start to eliminate all of these unnecessary variables, the variables that regular people accept into their life that brings them so much confusion. That's why I say don't get caught up emotionally when you start to detect that your quote unquote significant other may be texting someone or anything of that nature. Just be straightforward and let them know. Look, if you're interested in someone, there's no need for any type of subtlety. Just let me know and I'll give you all the space you need to go pursue that. Because 99 times out of 100, people who are seeking these thrill relationships and these thrill affairs, it's like a firecracker. It makes a lot of noise. It's a bright light and it's gone before you know it. All right. Don't ever waste your time chasing after a woman. There's no woman that's worth chasing. Believe me, there's none. The only thing that's worth chasing as a man is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's it. And when you chase those things, the woman will chase you eventually. Most females don't understand what a man is until they're about 45. In this society, most of them don't. They spend most of their time trying to chase excitement. That's why I tell brothers, it's not that the woman is attracted to a so-called thug, it's that she's attracted to chaos, excitement, because that represents an attack on monotony, which is their enemy. The two main emotions that move the female are jealousy and boredom. This is where this micro cheating comes in. You know, all these little side texts and calls and my man is so this and he's so that, or even some dudes who decide that they want to engage in quote unquote micro cheating, even though I've never understood that. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I'm talking to a broad, I got to be getting some ass from her or something. There's just nothing that the woman that is saying that is exciting enough for me to be having platonic conversations with her. I mean, if I want to have platonic conversations with a woman, I'll call my mom or my sister. I don't need I don't need to be on the phone with a random broad hearing her complain about work, right? If I'm listening to you complain about work, it's because you're going to get this work. That means I ain't got time for all that shit. I got too many things I got to get done in my day to listen to a platonic conversation from a woman. You know, but some guys, they do that. It is what it is. I don't know. But I believe that this report is more directed towards the female, and you're going to see this psychiatrist seem to be directing most of her commentary towards the woman. That's why I said, let me make this video so that brothers can understand this concept, because I'm sure a lot of cats is going through this with this micro cheating. The woman texting some dude, oh, he's just a friend, or he's a former friend, or I went to school with him, or he's just a colleague. All this little silly shit. When you find out about it, don't get upset. Just be direct. Be honest. Look, if there's something that you're interested in, please let me know. That's why I say, brothers, take your time with these women. A woman got to roll with you hard body for a good 3 to 5 years before you even think about taking her seriously. Because the average female in this society has so many chemicals in them from the foods that they eat, so many demons in them from the ideologies that they're taught, that you never know what's going on in their mind. You never know what type of spirits that they're trying to hide within them to deceive you, to try to pull you into the contractual obligation known as marriage. And, it is what it is. That's why I said, don't waste your time trying to play detective and all that other shit. It's not worth it. It takes your energy away from things that are actually important. But when you start to see or notice that she is appearing detached, you might want to have a real conversation with them, a mature conversation, and let them know if you're interested in somebody else, no problem. Have a nice day. It's not a big deal. That's it.
Microcheater might rationalize this as just talking to a friend. But psychologist Barbara Greenberg says this is actually a very intimate act.
I agree. Particularly if your so-called significant other is trying to hide it. Normally, when the rapport between them and someone else is not viewed as an affront or potentially affecting your relationship, they won't hide it. They say, oh, I took so-and-so's number from work. We're working on a project together. Oh, somebody texted me on Facebook or messaged me on Facebook or something, and I took down their number. We're going to, I'm going to the high school reunion or some silly shit. These broads are. They always caught up in some silly shit. When they start hiding stuff, and that's a sign of intimacy. That's a sign of certain things that you should be aware of, where that should precipitate you having a very honest and forthright conversation with them so that you can nip shit in the bud before it becomes a distraction from what you need to be doing.
The difference between a friendship and micro-cheating is friendships are usually not kept secret.
Ding.
But when you're talking to somebody and keeping it secret, that starts to meet the definition of micro-cheating.
I agree. Hey, this term or this ideology, whatever you want to call it, this concept, I should say, is something that brothers should be aware of. A lot of times they put terminologies to concepts when they see that it's becoming rampant. As I stated, the smartphone has added a variable to relationships that must be considered. The phone is basically a database. People don't have to memorize phone numbers anymore. Like I said, back in the day, 35 years ago, a man wanted to cheat on the woman, quote unquote cheat. He'd leave the house. He'd dial some broad up on a payphone and say, I'm going to see you in 5 minutes. Be naked. Now they got all type of hidden numbers and backup emails and all this other silly shit.
Other examples of micro-cheating, according to the experts, calling or texting a friend.
Hey, did you see how they put that in quotations? Calling or texting a friend? Let me rewind that.
And for information or advice on an issue that could easily be found online.
Ding.
Other examples of micro-cheating, according to the experts, calling or texting a friend.
Calling or texting a friend. And they put quotes on it. Brothers, that's why a lot of times in my videos, when I'm doing my narration, I say quote unquote. Because when you put quotes around something, you're basically saying that it's not literal. It's only conceptual. And it is certainly not what they are trying to make it out to be. All a male friend is patient dick on the side. That's all it is. 99 times out of 100, a so-called male friend, a so-called male that has a woman's number, if they're not doing anything sexual, is because he's waiting patiently. Okay? Most of the time, a male friend is somebody that she either used to fuck, is fucking, or will be fucking if shit don't work out with you. Okay? So, once again, if you find out about it, nip it in the bud. Don't let shit sit and fester. Don't let it sit and fester, and then you guys are going out on dates and y'all arguing over shit that got nothing to do with the actual issue at hand because you mad about the issue at hand. Y'all in the movie theaters. Well, bitch, you said you wanted medium popcorn. Now you talking about large. Now I got to go back and get it. Now I'm going to miss the previews. Can't stand your ass. You know, you arguing about that. You really mad about, about the friend she texting. But you didn't address it. Now you're arguing about some damn popcorn. When you find out that your so-called significant other is texting or communicating with a so-called male friend, or if you meet a woman and she tells you that she has male friends, then you should know what category to put her in. That's the category of a concubine. Period. The woman will tell you what she is very early if you pay attention. That will keep you from child support payments, from alimony payments, from stress, not being able to concentrate at work. Your number one priority is how you're going to continue to make your money so that you can survive another day. It's not chasing around some $2 hoe. And we live in a society of whores. We live in a society of whoredom. Some people might not like that. That's okay. This is modern day Babylon. When I say modern day Babylon, I'm talking about this system proceeding out from Rome and London and going out across the entire planet Earth. This is modern day Babylon, modern day Rome. Whoring is exalted. That's why I say I don't totally blame the woman. They're just vessels. They receive these concepts, these ideologies, and they go forward with them. They think it's a great thing to be able to sleep with 500 different men. So you have to adapt accordingly. When the woman tells you, hey, I have this male friend or that male friend, or I believe in male friends, or I believe in hanging out with guy friends and female friends who you know to be whores, she's telling you what she is. So when you decide to impregnate her, that's your fault. That's not her fault. So pay attention to shit like this. This is micro cheating.
Friend for information or advice on an issue that could easily be found online.
Or that she easily could get from you. Right? Oh, I just took so-and-so's phone number because we're working together on this project, or we're working together, at this location, and we had to do this and we got to do that. Please. You took that man phone number because you plan on fucking him if you get the chance. Okay? The hell out of here. But no problem. That's just a red flag for you to understand. Okay? I put a lot of humor around a lot of things that I say because I don't want brothers to take things too dire. You should learn how to handle things early so that you don't have to get angry. Right? Now, anger is a part of life. You are going to get incensed and angry about certain things. But if you see things coming before they come and hit you in the face, then you will be less angry. Like I always state, relationships in this society, in this kingdom, are like a boxing match. You must protect yourself at all times. Okay?
Giving an attractive waitress or waiter an excessively large tip.
Well, let me say this. If you're with your so-called significant other and she's looking all like the waiter, you might notice this sometimes. Might be walking down the street with your significant other, and hey, I've had this happen to me I remember when I was about 20, 21 years old, and I've had other cats tell me that this happened to them. You walking down the street with a broad, and there's too many dudes walking the opposite way that know that chick. You know what that means? You walking with a city bus. You're not walking with a brand new car. Everybody done rode that bitch. Okay? So hey, it is what it is. You get off at the next stop. When you out with somebody and they don't, and hey, even on a negative angle, and I've stated this before, you're out with your so-called significant other, your woman, whatever you want to call her, and she does not know how to treat the wait staff. She's nasty to the waiter, to the wait staff. She's nasty to the clerk at the counter. She's telling you something, because that's how she's going to treat you when she gets tired of that dick. For the most part, women are really only nice for two reasons. If there's some money involved or there's some new dick involved. After that, once the monotony set in, then they're gonna start. Then they're gonna show you who they really are. So you don't really know who the woman really is until she gets caught up in the monotony. Then you're gonna learn how mature she is, because that's what a woman is somebody who can deal with monotony. If you can't deal with the fact that every day is going to be predominantly the same, then you're not grown. So if you're fortunate enough to catch one of those diamonds in the rough that actually knows that every day is mostly going to be the same and not to get frustrated by it, then you have to do right by that woman. And conversely, if you get caught up with a chick who thinks that life is supposed to be like an amusement park and every day should be a new adventure, like she's fucking Indiana Jones or some shit, then she's telling you the same thing. This broad is here for a thrill ride. So you have your fun with her. That's a concubine, and send her on her way.
And neglecting to mention a significant other in a conversation so as to appear single on purpose.
There's two different ways to look at it.
Let me say this real quick before this psychiatrist continues. A lot of times people won't mention a significant other because they don't consider them a significant other. No, you have a lot of people like that. That's another thing. As your so-called relationship develops, you should watch how your significant other conducts themselves with you. Do they conduct themselves with disregard and disrespect? Many so-called black men tolerate way too much disrespect in this society. Way too much. Especially from their so-called woman. Your woman is supposed to be respectful. She is supposed to speak to you with terms of endearment. If you find that you're always getting into an argument with the woman, if you find that she's always trying to start shit with you for no reason, why is that? It's because she either is sliding off with something or she's considering sliding off with something. That's how that goes. The woman will always pack her bags early. She doesn't pack her bags the night that she takes the trip. She starts packing her bags weeks before. So if you notice that the female is distant or disparaging in some way, those are signs that she's giving you. That's why I would say, man, early on, you have a real conversation with your so-called significant other to find out where her mind is at. And let her know. If you're interested in someone else, it's not a big deal. Have a good day. That's all. 99 times out of 100, if you're a good person, she'll try to come back or she'll be back. And then that's up to you to choose if you're going to deal with her as a concubine or you're going to tell her to have a nice life. Goodbye.
On the one hand, a person might be engaging in something that I like to call safe excitement. Sometimes the primary relationship gets a little routine.
Did you hear what she said? She said sometimes the primary relationship gets a little routine. Primary relationship. So that's her stating that many of these females, they'll get bored and they'll try to develop a secondary relationship, sometimes with someone at work, sometimes possibly with a former flame, sometimes with someone who may have hit on them in their comings and goings. This is why you should be aware and alert to any form of quote unquote micro cheating, so that you can get those signs early, so that you don't end up being one of those guys on World Star spazzing out, crying into the camera like a $2 hoe. Don't do that. And I like that terminology too, safe excitement. That's what a lot of the excessive texting is an alternative to the quote unquote monotony that in their mind is tearing them down. Once again, the woman hates monotony. They can't deal with it. Why? Because they're like little kids. They can't deal with repetition. That's why they're not built to be leaders, because the leader has to deal with minutia. A leader has to deal with repetition every day. The woman can't deal with that. That's why she's so well suited to take care of the children. Because the children are haphazard. They do different things every day. So that keeps the woman occupied. That's why they were created with the maternal DNA. Certain females listening to this might not like what I just said. I really don't give a damn. Okay? This is a pro-truth channel. It is what it is.
Or they may simply be testing the waters to see if other people still find them attractive.
Or they're testing the waters to see if this person that they're talking to could be a viable replacement. But yes, sometimes the woman does like to see if people still find them attractive, especially if they hit that phase that I always tell you brothers about, from 35 to 45, when they start to lose their looks. All right? From 35 to 45 is like the very beginning of when they start to lose their looks. When they wake up, they look in the mirror, they got those crow's feet around their eyes. Their titties start to sag a little bit. They can't go to the club and have guys just jumping all around them, trying to grind up behind them like they used to. That's traumatic for the woman. Very traumatic. Because the woman, for the most part, projects herself from her looks inward. The man, for the most part, when he has a manly nature, projects himself from his inside out. Right? A real man is going to attract people based off of, his inner person. Now you have a lot of guys who sometimes they might not have been able to cultivate their inner person, maybe depending on how they were raised, etc. So they may try to attract people based off their money or what have you. But it's very traumatic for the woman to start to lose her looks. Very traumatic. That's why she used that term testing the water. She wants to see if she can grab another fish if she wanted to, so that she can go back to her quote unquote primary relationship and tell the guy, I have options. Right? If a woman tests the waters and she sees other men are willing to take her up on her, her offers, she may go back and try to start arguments with her quote unquote primary, so that she can go off for 2 months and have a little fun.
Either way,
Say to a person who's micro-cheating, sit down and think what purpose micro-cheating is serving you. Are you unhappy in your current relationship?
Sometimes monotony will make a so-called woman think that she's unhappy when she's really not. She's just rebelling. Once again, brothers, when you see the woman going through those type of issues, let them go, because they're only going to try to pull you down. You can't let anyone pull you down. The so-called black man has enough to deal with in this society without some confused woman trying to pull him down. The woman has to be on point. That's why I tell cats, woman has to come out the box, no assembly required. Just put the battery in her back and she has to be able to go. You can't be there having to look at directions. Okay, the arm goes here, the titties go there, the arm, and you can't, oh, I need a screwdriver. No. You ain't got time for all that shit. You ready made, or we sending you back to the damn shop.
Or is this just a temporary indiscretion?
if you think that your partner is micro-cheating, experts say that it's best to address it early before the relationship progresses even.
Hey, you hear what she said? even she said that. Let me rewind it back.
Even more.
Happy in your current relationship, or is this just a temporary indiscretion?
And listen to what she said. She said, is this, are you really happy in your quote unquote relationship? See, it doesn't take men much to be happy, but it takes women a lot. Like, for the most part with a man, all you gotta be doing is getting some consistent coochie. Maybe get your rod sucked every once in a while. If she can cook, she's quiet. No, but that's a lot for today's woman. Like, for today's woman, you just get some coochie. You got to deal with that, because most of them can't cook, can't boil a damn egg. But if you get those 4 or 5 basic things from the woman, the man is good. The woman got to get all this other stuff, because they're so high maintenance, the majority of them. And then when you also include the job dynamic, the job is bringing a lot of these women a lot of unhappiness. Most of them are unhappy with their jobs. So now they need all type of psychological and emotional support. And if the man is not there, the primary, quote unquote, primary is not there to give them that support, they may start looking for someone else who wants to listen to their bullshit. Now, who's going to be eager to listen to the woman's bullshit? The side dude. Because the side dude's just trying to get some side coochie. So he's willing to put in the time to listen to her bitch and complain about work. Or about the primary. The side dude be listening. Side dude be ready to listen to her complain about the primary.
If you think that your partner is micro-cheating, experts say that it's best to address it early before the relationship progresses even more.
All right.
Hey, take it from her. Take it from the lady in red. The harlot of Babylon. Hey, but you hear that, brothers? You see that bullshit early, she doing you a favor. You nip that shit in the bud right away. You say, look, if you feel like there's something else out there, something over the rainbow that you want to address, and get that pot of gold on the other side, you go knock yourself out. All right? Those be the same broads 12, 13 years from now, sitting back watching Oprah eating a pint of Haagen-Dazs, talking about there's no good men. But anyway, watch out for the micro cheating, brothers, all right? Peace.